Hello, good people. Spot of Nerd here. With, obviously, we kind of we're gonna go back and forth by what it seems to be the plan with this channel. We've had some pretty great success, and I do want to send a huge thank you out right out of the gate for the uptick in viewership for some of the latest episodes we've brought out. Specifically, the Pandaverse with the South Park. We did the Marvels most recently, and then what was another one we did that was? Oh, and then of course the Turtles, that new Ninja Turtle movie that's out currently on Paramount. So huge thank you, really, honestly. It means the world, because it's, I don't know, it's almost like maybe I'm just reaching more people, or maybe just more people are paying attention. I don't know, because again, I firmly believe censorship is real. Shadow banning is real. I mean, all you got to do is look on Instagram, posts that used to get 20 likes, 25 likes, barely get even a like now. So it's interesting. I don't know how the world is going to move forward in that direction, but it doesn't mean we also can't talk about real world issues. And of course, we will talk about this stuff well into the future, because it is important. And quite frankly, I don't know who else to talk to, because everybody I know either hates me, wants me dead, or has moved on to other things. And what I mean by that is they can't accept the fact that somebody else has a different opinion. It's quite shocking if you think about it. We used to be able to be different, and now it's against the law or something like that, metaphorically speaking. So, a couple of subjects I wanted to hit kind of just quickly here. I want to talk about the unbelievable statistics with anti-Semitism that is currently going on in this country and around the world. It makes you sick. It literally makes you sick to your stomach to think just how much hate there is towards the people of Israel, Jews, so on and so forth. Specifically, of course, with this war that's going on in the Middle East. And, we've talked about it. I care, but I don't care what quote unquote side you're on. Obviously, nobody wants people to die. But when you're seeing U.S. Capitol buildings being taken over by protesters, when you're seeing people being beaten on the street, dying on the street. There was a man in L.A. that died from a pro-Palestinian supporter who basically hit him over the head. And of course, the media just spins it completely the other direction in relation to basically saying that all the Jews are to blame. And, I'm not going to be the one to tell you about the facts. I'm not here to say, well, according to news resource here and according to news source. No, you can do that yourself. I'm pretty sure you can go on your phone and you can look up this information. But just as an example, according to FBI, incident reports, anti-Semitism is up 400% in this country. It is the highest it has ever been in history. And that is something that, again, it should make you feel sick to your stomach, because for one, it's unnecessary. For two, what the actual fuck? And then number three, this idea about inclusion, diversity, etc., so on and so forth, it just goes completely out the window, because, you can't have it both ways. We've talked about this many times on many different subjects. You can't support one group without obviously seeing the other side. And I guess the perfect example being, let's just say it right out of the gate, I have zero issue with the LGBT community. I think if you know me, you know me. You do you, I'll do me, as long as you leave me out of it, as long as you don't try to control anything in my life, as long as you're consenting adults, you're abiding by the law. You do you, and I'll do me. You do realize that people of the LGBTQ community would borderline be murdered, beheaded, thrown off buildings if you were in some of these Muslim countries. That is just a known fact. This is not something that is like, oh my god, I never knew. No, this is factual information that you can find since the dawn of time. It really, really is not that hard to look up, and it is astonishing to me, the support that pro-Hamas folks have, And again, I have nothing against Palestinians, I have nothing against Muslims, but yes, I do have something against terrorists, aka Hamas. These people brutalized innocent children, adults, etc. So when I see all these people that are calling for a ceasefire or this or that, it is astonishing to me that, why now? Why do you care now? Why is it that every Muslim country, Jordan, Egypt, Palestine, Iraq, Iran, none of these countries are taking in their own people right now? Why is nobody pointing that hypocrisy out? Because yes, it is hypocritical when we're the only ones, aka America, once again having to figure out where to put these, these people that have to go and find refuge somewhere, women and children, etc. And then, of course, there's the debate of war. Let's not forget that this is a war. It was a war started by terrorists, aka Hamas, that the people of Gaza put into power, whether through their own free will or not. The bottom line is they are in control. If it was up to me, my 2 cents, overthrow the government, overthrow Hamas terrorists, set up something that where you and Israel can live together as one. It's not rocket science. But apparently, regardless of the history, they still need to go out and kill children. That is a no-brainer. You go after children, innocent people, and you rape and destroy women, you forfeit your life. And I am not afraid to say that out loud. It is disgusting and it is horrible. And then when you get to the Western world, you get to these other countries that are literally supporting it. I have, again, no issue with peaceful, real peaceful protests, not what CNN tells you. Real protests, where even just a few days ago in the Washington, D.C. was the largest gathering of pro-Israel supporters that has ever been seen in the country, and I believe the world. Again, look this information up. There was literally over 300,000 pro-Israeli folks defending their people and defending the fact that what happened on October 7th was pure, unadulterated evil, and it needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped. There are evil people in this world, and they need to go. So I get really passionate about this stuff because, number one, like I've said already, I have nobody to talk to about this stuff. So I figured, let's talk to the world, because there's got to be somebody who feels the same way. And even if you don't, I would just ask you to try and look at it. Not only look for the information in your own research, but look for other viewpoints and ask them why. We're not all evil. We're not all bigots and racists like the media controls you to tell what you are or what you should be. Please, just start thinking for yourself and see people for who they are, not what their skin color is, what their religion is. Base people off of the individuals that they are. I can't believe we're literally going backwards in 2024 nearly. I mean, we're about a month away almost. So I would just kind of I would just end that piece there with just the level of anti-Semitism that we are experiencing is, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's unacceptable. It's, I guess, speechless. I'm honestly speechless about it, because it should not be happening. Yes, the world is not the best place right now, but the bottom line is, if we would stop fighting each other, we actually might find a way around it. But if we would just put our devices down for 5 minutes, 5 minutes, we would have a completely different world. Completely different world. And I pray to God himself that we one day will get that world. I really, really do. Because it can't go on like this. It is the metaphoric frog on a hot plate. That frog is going to pop and he's going to hop. And I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. And it scares the hell out of me. It really, really does. And it should scare the hell out of you too. So be careful out there. Be safe. Watch out for your loved ones, your family, friends, etc. Because Lord knows what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, Lord freaking knows. But other little thing I wanted to talk about, which you probably gathered from the title. There's a gal, her name, she's on Instagram. She's one of those influencer people, talks about relationships and things like that, and brought up quite an interesting topic the other day about, you know, do good guys still exist? Or have we moved past the quote-unquote good guy? And are we now just simply moving into an age that does, you know, when it comes to relationships, that doesn't no longer exists? And it was an interesting take because I was thinking about it for a second and I realized, you know, the quote-unquote good guy that, you know, ladies want to be with, they want to marry, etc. Are they gone? I would say the majority have. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily gone as in like they've just disappeared, but I think they've moved on. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Seriously, I'd love to know your thoughts. Throw it down in the comments. Of course, subscribe wherever you can, follow wherever you can. But, you know, there's the running joke right now that if you are with somebody, whether you're married, whether you're with your partner, etc., you know, it's like getting on the last chopper out of Vietnam. You know, it's, you hold on to that person for dear life because, like I've said many times in the future, or not the future, in the past, when it comes to relationships, men like myself, we are choosing to be alone because it is not worth it anymore. It is truly not worth the time, energy, or money to try and appease another individual. And yeah, it sounds negative, it sounds horrible, it sounds miserable, but people like myself, and I know I'm a bit of a broken record here, I have never been in a better place ever in my life than right now. And it's all because I've learned to be alone. It is truly the greatest feeling on the planet, and it is the most alleviating, it is the most weight has been lifted off my shoulders feeling on the planet because I no longer have to worry about somebody else. And it just got me thinking, you know, I would 100,000% consider myself to be the quote-unquote good guy. And I have been the good guy to many, many relationships in the past. And yes, this does include, you know, not necessarily, don't go down that road, but not in a creepy way. But if you look at friends and family, I've always been the one that always has to do something for that individual, support the individual, whatever it might be. Very, very few people have ever tried and supported me or helped me in any way whatsoever. The moment I stop caring, the moment they don't even give a shit. And it's something, I mean, obviously we can take that road in many directions, but what it does ultimately come down to is the good guy, I guess, genre, is the good guy mentality, does it still exist? Are they around anymore? Or have they all just simply said, we're done, and it's over? It's because it's funny, you know, you watch this Instagram channel, Emily King, maybe, I believe is her name. I'll have to maybe put it in the description, but again, she always posts these videos about, you know, some ladies that are always, they're fed up because they haven't found the right one, they're fed up because they always date losers, and so on and so forth. And I just kind of look back and I go, you make the choices and you live with it. You know, the saddest truth, and I'll leave you with this, my one horrible example. There's an individual that I know in my life right now, and no way in hell will I need to mention names or where I know them. Let's just say they're an acquaintance. You know, this gentleman basically took off once there was let's just say another individual on the way. And he just took off. No questions, no nothing. Just took off because didn't want to deal with it. And to me, that is literally why it is individuals like this that have destroyed any sort of remnants of a good guy, because that's what we're going up against. You know, you're making the choice of being with a guy who is just simply going to leave you and run away, where somebody else like myself or another great guy out there would do anything in the world for you. But you never wanted to go with that guy because he was always left in your quote-unquote friend zone. And don't deny it, we've all been there, we've all done it. But it's amazing because sometimes those good guys are staring you right in the face. Let's face the facts. They have always been there. They will always, and if anything, even to this day, regardless of the good guy motif, mentality, whatever you want to call it, odds are they're still there and they will always be there for you. But if you ever give them a chance, I can promise you at this moment in time, in this stage in life, the way society is, I can promise you the majority will still say no. Because they simply know it's not worth it anymore. It really, really isn't. And I don't mean that. I know this sounds really, really negative, really kind of down of a dark path, but I promise you, I mean it in the most optimistic sense possible. I really, really do. It doesn't matter who you are, what side you're on, your own sexuality, etc., so on and so forth. You're the most important person. And if somebody else can complement that, then you have struck the lottery. You have done better than the lottery, because if you ask me, if you truly personally ask me right now, I would tell you that you genuinely have better odds at winning the lottery than you do at finding a good partner for life. And yes, I'm the classic nature. I do believe in marriage. I believe in marriage for life. And there is a small piece of me that hopes it does happen one day. But at this point, I would be perfectly content if it didn't. And the saddest truth is, I will write that book. I think of it like Lord of the Rings when Frodo is writing his book, There and Back Again. Good guy and back again. It's we lived a great life. We met some great, and we fell in love with some amazing people, but those people simply didn't want the love in return. And we can't change that. It's not up for us. It's not up to us to change that. I just hope one day maybe these individuals realize it, and maybe they do start changing their behaviors and start changing their own aura, I guess, to accept that not everybody is perfect, not everybody makes six figures, and sometimes the great guy, yeah, he might not be the best looking, he might not be the most rich. That man or that woman or whoever it might be will literally do everything in their power to make sure that you are supported, you are happy, and that you are loved. And that's, I think, the most beautiful thing on the planet. And for the love of God, like I said, broken record, if you have somebody, do not lose them. Trust me, I can promise you, you will never get it back. At least not in today's world. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, we will leave it there. Huge thank you to everybody that has got this far. If you love what you heard, again, I'd love to know your 2 cents. Throw it down in the comments. Follow, subscribe, everywhere you can. And again, huge thank you for all the love and support for the most recent videos. It's been incredible. So we will continue this journey, and I hope you will come along with me. Out of pity, I'd love it. Subscribe, please. Please subscribe. I would super appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all.